This video is brought to you by MyFitnessPal, the #1 nutrition tracking app.
So, you started tracking your food, right? You're trying to lose some weight, but after a few weeks, you just feel overwhelmed, or impatient, or maybe just plain stuck. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are so not alone. It's a super common experience, and we're going to get into exactly why that happens. But here's a thought. What if the way you're tracking is actually part of the problem? Like, what if that food log, the very thing that's supposed to be helping you, is secretly working against you? It's a crazy thought, but it happens all the time. Because here's a little secret that registered dietitians will tell you. Success isn't about being perfect. Nope. It's not about tracking every single crumb flawlessly. It's all about tracking smart. And that is exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to tackle those unrealistic goals, then get into why your logging might not be as accurate as you think. We'll talk nutrient balance, which is a total game changer, by the way, bust a huge myth about exercise calories, and then wrap up with the most important rule of all, consistency, not perfection.
All right, let's dive in. Mistake number 1, setting these crazy, unrealistic calorie goals. You know what I'm talking about. It's so tempting to just slash your calories way down, thinking you'll get results faster. But honestly, that almost always backfires. You just end up tired, super hungry, and you might even start losing muscle instead of fat. Not good. So check out this real-world example. A dietitian was working with this busy finance executive who had set her goal at just 1,100 calories. And guess what happened? She was absolutely miserable. She was stuck in that classic yo-yo diet trap, losing a little, then quitting over and over. The fix? It was so simple, but it changed everything. The dietitian just boosted her goal to a much more doable 1,500 calories. And really, this just lays out the two paths you can take, right? On one side, you've got the restrictive path. That one's all about hunger, feeling tired, and eventually just quitting. But the other path, the sustainable one, that's where you find energy, consistency, and actual success. It's all about playing the long game.
Okay, so how do we fix this? It's pretty straightforward, really. 4 steps. First, set a realistic goal. A small 200-calorie deficit is a fantastic starting point. Second, you have to listen to your body. How do you feel? If you're constantly hungry or cranky, that's a huge red flag. Third, load up on nutrient-dense foods, the stuff that actually keeps you full. And last, just check in with yourself regularly. Be ready to make adjustments.
All right, mistake number 2, and this one is a sneaky one, not logging accurately. You know, we're talking about those little guesstimates, a splash of cooking oil, a little handful of nuts. They feel like nothing, right? But oh man, they add up so fast and can totally stall your progress. So what does inaccurate logging even mean? Well, it's things like just guessing your portion sizes, forgetting all the little extras like sauces or oils, or, and this is a big one, using unverified food entries in your app. And you've got to hear this. A study in 2021 found that those unverified entries, they often lowball the calories and jack up the protein count. So you think you're crushing it, but the data is basically lying to you. The fix here is to really use the tools you have. So pro tip, always look for that little green check mark for verified foods. And log everything. I'm talking drinks, cooking oils, the whole shebang. Use the barcode scanner for anything in a package. It's a lifesaver. And for your home cook stuff, that recipe builder is awesome. Seriously, just taking 30 seconds to review your day can make a world of difference. Okay, on to mistake number 3, and this one is so frustrating. It's when you focus only on calories and totally ignore your nutrients. You can hit your calorie number right on the dot, but if you don't have the right balance of protein, carbs, and fat, you're just going to feel hungry and tired and be fighting cravings all day long. Here's a perfect example from a dietitian. Her client was eating oatmeal and fruit for breakfast. I mean, that sounds super healthy, doesn't it? But really, it's just carbs on top of carbs. So what happened? She was starving again in like 2 hours. That led to snacking, and poof, there goes her calorie deficit. The fix was so easy, though. Just add a scoop of protein powder. Boom, kept her full for hours. So what's a good target to shoot for? Well, for weight loss, a lot of dietitians recommend this as a great starting point. About 40% of your calories from carbs, 30% from protein, and 30% from fat. That kind of balance is literally designed to keep you feeling satisfied and full of energy. All right, let's talk about mistake number 4. And oh boy, this one trips up so many people. It's what I call the exercise calorie myth. You know that idea that you can just eat back every single calorie your watch says you burned? Yeah, turns out it's not quite that simple.
Okay, get ready for this number. 30%. Let that sink in for a second. 30%. A huge analysis of 65 different studies found that that's the average error rate for calories burned on fitness trackers. Some of the researchers even call the estimates unacceptable. So if you're relying on those numbers, you could be wiping out your entire calorie deficit without even knowing it.
So we need a smarter strategy, right? First off, give yourself a buffer. Only eat back maybe half to 2/3 of what your tracker says you burned. And just remember, your diet is what really drives weight loss. Exercise is amazing for your health, don't get me wrong, but it's not a free pass to eat whatever you want. At the end of the day, your actual progress, what the scale says, how your clothes fit, how you feel, that's the real truth teller. And that brings us to our final mistake. And honestly, this might be the most important one of all. It's chasing perfection instead of just focusing on consistency. That pressure to have a perfect, flawless food log every single day, that's what burns people out. It leads to frustration, and then you just give up. Okay, check out this stat. 7 times. This is wild. MyFitnessPal found that members who just log their food on 4 days, just 4, during their first week are 7 times more likely to see progress. That's huge. It proves it's not about being perfect, it's just about showing up most of the time.
And that's why aiming for 100% is it's a recipe for disaster. It turns food logging into this high-stakes exam, where one little mistake feels like you failed the whole thing. And that pressure, that's what makes you want to throw in the towel.
So how do you actually build that consistency? First, just know that it gets way easier and faster over time, I promise. Set a tiny goal for yourself, like I'm just going to track 4 days this week. That's it. Or maybe just focus on one habit, like hitting your protein goal. And please, most importantly, give yourself some grace. We all have off days. Just forgive it and get right back on track tomorrow. No big deal.
So, I want to leave you with this one question. What if you just reframed this whole thing? What if your food log wasn't a test? It's not about passing or failing. What if it was just a tool for learning, a way for you to get curious about your own body, your habits, and what actually makes you feel amazing? That one little shift in how you see it, man, that could change everything.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more insights brought to you by MyFitnessPal, the #1 nutrition tracking app.